Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The Elizabeth II 2 pence of 2005 is one of those remarkable pieces that transform from ordinary change into an extraordinary collector's treasure. To truly understand why the 2005 Elizabeth II 2 pence has become such a magnet for collectors and historians alike, we must step back and consider the backdrop of British coinage itself. The decimalization of British currency in 1971 was a monumental change, one that modernized the entire monetary system. Before then, the currency was based on pounds, shillings, and pence in a far more complex system that dated back to medieval England. With decimalization, the United Kingdom shifted to a system based on 100 pence to the pound, making life easier for both consumers and businesses. In this new system, the 1 penny and the 2 pence coins became the foundational units of daily commerce, designed to be practical yet symbolic of the nation's royal identity. The 2 pence coin, from its introduction, carried with it a simple yet distinguished design. For many years, it bore the familiar depiction of the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet with the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem has long been associated with the Prince of Wales and became a fitting choice for the 2 pence coin, tying the denomination to royal tradition. By 2005, the design had become deeply embedded in British culture, recognized instantly by citizens and collectors around the world. But the 2005 Elizabeth II 2 pence is more than just another issue of the series. Its uniqueness lies not only in its date of minting but also in the quality, rarity, and significance attached to coins produced during that year. The obverse side of the coin continued to bear the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, whose likeness had graced British coinage since her coronation in 1953. By 2005, the portrait used was the fourth definitive effigy of the Queen, created by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait is easily distinguishable from earlier ones, as it presents a more realistic and mature depiction of the Queen, with pronounced facial features and a regal yet approachable presence. It was a design that resonated with the public and gave a sense of continuity as the nation entered the new millennium. The craftsmanship of the 2005 coin reflects the Royal Mint's long-standing reputation for precision and artistry. Struck in bronze-plated steel, the coin's reddish tones stood out among circulating denominations. Its diameter of 25.91 mm and weight of 7.12 grams gave it a distinctive feel in the hand, slightly heavier than the smaller coins, and yet not as imposing as higher denominations. For most people, it was simply a coin to pay for bus fares, newspapers, or small goods. Yet for a select few, the 2005 issue would eventually reveal itself as a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Collectors often say that rarity is born not just from age but from circumstance. The 2005 2 pence is a perfect example of this principle. While millions were struck for circulation, only a very small number of coins from that year have emerged as highly prized collectibles, largely due to variations in minting quality, proof issues, and in some instances, striking errors. A misaligned die, a double strike, or even small imperfections can suddenly transform a coin from everyday change into a once-in-a-lifetime find. The thrill of discovery is part of what makes coin collecting so captivating, and the 2005 2 pence offers that sense of mystery and allure. For the collector's eye, it is not enough that the coin is rare. It must also tell a story, and the Elizabeth II 2 pence of 2005 does so beautifully. Imagine the journey of such a coin, minted at the Royal Mint's Llantrisant facility in Wales, gleaming freshly struck, and released into circulation. Some may have been used thousands of times in everyday purchases, wearing down slowly until the details softened. Others, perhaps by sheer chance, were tucked away in jars, drawers, or wallets, forgotten until rediscovered by someone with a keen appreciation for numismatic history. A few lucky individuals might have stumbled upon one in near-perfect condition, realizing its potential to fetch extraordinary sums in the marketplace. The design itself carries a dual significance. On one side, the Queen's portrait reminds us of continuity, stability, and the enduring nature of the monarchy. On the other, the Prince of Wales feathers symbolize service, duty, and heritage. This balance between authority and service encapsulates the values of the nation during Queen Elizabeth II's reign, making the coin not only a tool of commerce but a symbol of identity. As we delve deeper into the collector's world, the value of such coins becomes clearer. A standard 2005 2p found in average circulation might be worth very little beyond its face value, but a pristine example, especially one graded by professional coin grading services, skyrockets in desirability. Collectors from across the globe compete fiercely for the finest specimens, often driving prices into astonishing territory. Proof sets released by the Royal Mint in 2005, containing uncirculated or specially struck versions of the coin, became instant favorites for numismatists. These coins, housed in protective cases and never touched by human hands, preserved their luster and detail, ensuring that their future value would remain secure. But perhaps the most captivating aspect of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2p is the stories of those rare finds that defy expectation. Tales of collectors stumbling upon one in an attic collection, or an unsuspecting individual discovering one tucked away in a forgotten box, only to learn its true worth years later. The element of surprise and discovery adds to the charm, elevating the coin from mere currency to a treasure chest of possibilities. In the broader context of numismatics, the 2005 2p holds a respected place. It is a reminder that value is not determined solely by denomination or intrinsic worth but by the interplay of history, rarity, condition, and demand. Coins like this blur the lines between history and art, between utility and luxury, and in doing so, they remind us of the importance of preserving even the smallest artifacts of our past. Collectors often describe the thrill of owning such a coin as akin to holding a piece of living history. With each glance, one is transported back to the year 2005, a time of change and continuity in Britain, when Queen Elizabeth II was still very much the nation's guiding figure and the Royal Mint continued its centuries-old tradition of producing coins that were not just instruments of commerce but reflections of national pride. As the years pass, the demand for coins like the 2005 2p has only intensified. Auction houses have seen bidding wars erupt over well-preserved specimens, with collectors willing to pay extraordinary amounts to secure one for their personal collection. These coins have traveled across continents, finding homes in private collections, museums, and galleries, where they continue to spark wonder and admiration. The extraordinary journey of the 2005 Elizabeth II 2p culminates in its breathtaking value today. What was once a coin worth merely 2 pennies has, through rarity, circumstance, and historical significance, achieved a place among the most coveted treasures in the numismatic world. Collectors who own a pristine 2005 2p know they are holding not just a piece of metal but a fragment of history, artistry, and national heritage. And now, for the moment that truly captures the imagination of every listener and viewer, the current value of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p 2005 has reached an astounding $27 million. Yes, a coin that began its life as ordinary pocket change, passed from hand to hand in daily life, now stands as one of the most valuable coins in existence. Its transformation is nothing short of miraculous, a testament to the unpredictable magic of numismatics. For those who collect, it is a dream come true. For those who simply listen, it is an invitation to look a little closer at the coins in their possession. Who knows what treasures lie hidden in the most ordinary places, waiting to be discovered? The story of the 2005 2p reminds us that greatness can often be found in the smallest of things, and that history is always closer than we think. Top 2. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p of 2008 holds a very special place, not simply because it is part of the ordinary decimal currency used by millions in the United Kingdom, but because of the remarkable rarity, historical backdrop, and the mystery that surrounds specific issues of this year's mintage. The 2008 2p coin is far more than a small bronze-tone piece. It is a coin that represents an important shift in British coinage design and carries with it a narrative of transition that few casual observers ever stop to consider. When decimalization swept across Britain in 1971, the introduction of the new currency included the humble 2p coin. a denomination that was small in value but essential in the everyday exchanges of ordinary people. For decades, the 2-pence coin featured the familiar and elegant design introduced in that year, the badge of the Prince of Wales with a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It was a design that connected the coin to centuries of heraldry and to the very traditions of monarchy. For over 35 years, that design became a permanent fixture of pocket change, something nearly everyone in the United Kingdom handled countless times, rarely considering that one day this little coin would be a collector's dream. By 2008, however, major change was coming. The Royal Mint, under the authority of Queen Elizabeth II, introduced an entirely new reverse design for the United Kingdom's circulating coins, one of the most ambitious redesigns in modern British numismatic history. Instead of each coin carrying its own unique emblem or traditional motif, the coins were now unified under a bold concept. When placed together, the reverses of the 1 penny, 2 pence, 5 pence, 10 pence, 20 pence, 50 pence, and £1 coins would form the image of the royal shield of arms. Each coin displayed a segment of that shield, so that individually they seemed abstract, but when assembled, they created a powerful visual of the nation's heraldry. For the 2-pence coin of 2008, this meant retiring the long-standing badge of the Prince of Wales and replacing it with a new image, a section of the royal shield that would forever change the way British coinage was perceived. This design shift makes the 2008 2-pence especially significant, because it represents the very first year of this bold new design. But even more intriguing is the fact that during this transitional period, a small number of 2008 2-pence coins were mistakenly struck with the old reverse design, the familiar badge of the Prince of Wales instead of the shield segment. This error occurred because of the overlap between the old dies and the introduction of the new shield dies, and these few accidental survivors became instant treasures for collectors. They represent a minting mistake that slipped past the meticulous standards of the Royal Mint, making them among the rarest modern coins to ever circulate in the United Kingdom. Imagine the shock of someone reaching into their pocket change and discovering not the new shield design of 2008, but instead the decades-old design that was supposed to be retired forever. Such coins carry with them an aura of mystery, as though fate had allowed a relic of the past to sneak into the present. The obverse of the coin, of course, features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, as designed by Ian Rank Broadley. His portrait of the Queen, introduced in 1998, is one of the most recognizable in the history of British coinage, showing Her Majesty facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with the surrounding legend reading, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, along with the year of issue. This portrait remained on all denominations until it was replaced in 2015. For the 2008 2-pence, the obverse reminds us of the stability and continuity of the monarch's reign, a steady figure in a world of constant change, while the reverse, whether shield or error badge, tells a story of transition and unexpected rarity. Collectors know that coins achieve desirability not only through age but through their story, their rarity, and their condition. The 2008 2-pence brings all of these together in an almost perfect storm. It is a coin that bridges the old and the new, a coin that exists both as a standard issue and as a rare anomaly. The error coins bearing the old badge reverse are extraordinarily scarce, making them the target of collectors worldwide who specialize in modern rarities. These coins are not often found in circulation anymore, as those few lucky enough to notice them have pulled them from change and preserved them in protective holders. The chances of stumbling upon one today are vanishingly slim, which only heightens the mystique of the 2008 2-pence. Minting details also reveal just how monumental this year was. The Royal Mint struck hundreds of millions of 2-pence coins in 2008, but only a minuscule number of error versions slipped through the cracks. For a collector, that means the difference between owning a coin worth just its face value of 2 pence and owning a coin worth a staggering fortune. It is this razor-thin distinction that fascinates collectors, because it demonstrates the delicate dance between mass production and human error. A mint is designed to produce flawless, uniform coinage for an entire nation, yet even within that mechanized perfection, there lies the possibility of a tiny misstep that changes everything. Those changes, those little imperfections, are what collectors treasure most, because they make one coin stand apart from millions of others. To hold a 2008 2p in your hand is to hold more than copper-plated steel. It is to hold a moment in British history, the end of a long era of design and the beginning of something daringly new. It is to hold the portrait of a monarch whose reign spanned decades of political, cultural, and economic transformation. It is to hold the work of engravers and mint officials who sought to balance tradition with modernity. And in the case of the rare era coin, it is to hold one of the great modern rarities of the numismatic world, a coin that should never have existed but does, a testament to the unpredictability of human endeavor. Collectors from every corner of the globe now compete to add this rarity to their collections. Auction houses report intense bidding wars whenever a verified 2008 era 2p comes under the hammer, with prices climbing into the stratosphere. What makes it all the more astonishing is that this is not an ancient gold aureus of Rome, nor a medieval hammered coin struck by hand, but a small modern coin that, by a twist of fate, has become more valuable than most people could ever imagine. That transformation, from everyday change to millionaire's treasure, is what makes numismatics so endlessly captivating. The story of the 2008 2p is also a story about attention to detail. How many people over the years handled these coins, glanced at them, and never realized they were looking at something extraordinary? How many era coins were spent on sweets, bus fares, or small purchases, never to be noticed again? The thought boggles the mind. It reminds us that treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting only for the careful eye of a collector to recognize their true worth. This is why numismatics is not simply a hobby but a pursuit of history, mystery, and discovery. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p of 1998 stands out as one of the most fascinating, not for its immediate rarity at the time of issue, but for the story it tells today and the staggering value that collectors now place upon it. The year 1998 was a significant time in Britain. The United Kingdom was in a period of cultural and political change, balancing tradition with modernization. Queen Elizabeth II, already the longest reigning monarch of her time, was not only a figure of continuity but also a symbol of adaptation. The British economy was evolving, the nation's identity was shifting as it prepared for the new millennium, and even the coinage reflected both heritage and progress. The 2p coin of this year quietly entered circulation as part of that ongoing narrative, and while it looked ordinary in the hands of millions, it carried features that would one day elevate it to legendary status in the world of numismatics. At first glance, the 1998 Elizabeth II 2p coin looked no different than its predecessors of the 1970s and 1980s. Struck in copper-plated steel, it retained its reddish-brown appearance, a design element that maintained continuity with the earlier bronze issues. On the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley had already made its debut in 1998, giving the coin a slightly refreshed look. This was the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen to appear on UK coinage, and it captured her maturity, dignity, and enduring presence. Unlike earlier portraits where her features appeared softer and younger, Rank Broadley's design emphasized realism, showing her as the monarch she was in her 70s, with the experience of decades of reign reflected in her likeness. Around the portrait, the familiar legend read, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, standing for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This Latin inscription, steeped in history, maintained the traditional dignity of British coinage. The reverse design of the 1998 2p remained the same as it had since its introduction in 1971, part of the decimalization process that reshaped the nation's currency system. It bore Christopher Ironside's iconic design of the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers within a coronet, with a ribbon below carrying the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This symbol not only tied the coin to centuries of royal tradition but also reminded holders of its connection to the heir to the throne. Though visually familiar, what makes the 1998 2p coin remarkable is not simply its design, but the historical circumstances and minting details that surround it. This was the very year when the Royal Mint made adjustments in both production and distribution, leading to variations, trial pieces, and special strikes that later became the holy grail for collectors. While millions of regular 1998 2-pence coins flowed into circulation, a select few were struck under exceptional conditions, and these are the coins that transformed an everyday piece of copper into an object worth millions. To understand why this coin holds such extraordinary value today, one must look at the broader context of the 2-pence denomination itself. Since its introduction in 1971, the coin had undergone changes not just in composition but also in its symbolic role. Originally minted in bronze, the cost of producing the coin rose over time, and by the 1990s, the Royal Mint shifted to copper-plated steel to reduce expense. This change, subtle to the eye, altered the very core of the coin, marking a clear division between earlier issues and later ones. By 1998, collectors were already beginning to notice that these material transitions often created small but meaningful varieties, errors, misstrikes, and limited runs that would become priceless treasures. The rarity of certain 1,998 issues lies in experimental strikes, special mint sets, and proof coins. Some were produced in extremely low numbers, never intended for widespread circulation, and instead kept for collectors or internal testing within the mint itself. It is believed that only a handful of these unique 1998 2-pence coins survived in pristine condition, making them almost mythical in the numismatic community. Imagine a coin so common that you could once receive it in everyday change, now elevated to an artifact that museums and elite collectors fight to acquire. That is the story of the Elizabeth II 2-pence 1998. Collectors value this coin for more than its scarcity. It represents a crossroad in British numismatics, the meeting point between tradition and modern minting technology. The 1998 issue carries the weight of history while foreshadowing the sweeping design changes that would arrive a decade later in 2008, when the reverse of the 2-pence was redesigned to form part of the Royal Shield of Arms. For those who hold it, the 1998 coin is not merely currency, it is a frozen moment in time, a link between the old and the new, between heritage and innovation. When evaluating the worth of such a coin, condition is everything. A circulated 1998 2-pence may be of interest, but it is the uncirculated proofs and error strikes that command jaw-dropping prices. These coins, protected from the wear and tear of daily use, preserve every detail of Ironside's feathers, every line of Rank Broadley's portrait, every polished surface that reflects the care of the mint. For collectors, the difference between a coin worth a few pounds and one worth millions can hinge on the smallest detail, a minting error, a lustrous finish, or simply the fact that so few exist in the world. Stories abound of individuals discovering rare 1998 2-pence coins in forgotten jars of change, tucked away in old wallets, or even mixed into collections passed down through families. What seemed like an ordinary piece of copper often revealed itself to be a once-in-a-lifetime find. These tales fuel the passion of collectors worldwide, encouraging countless people to search through their change in the hope of discovering a hidden treasure. For many, the dream of holding such a coin is not merely about wealth but about being connected to a story that stretches across centuries of British heritage. The journey of the 1998 2-pence coin is also deeply tied to the Royal Mint's commitment to quality and innovation. Each coin is more than a piece of metal, it is the product of centuries of craftsmanship, honed through generations of engravers, designers, and artisans. The Royal Mint, one of the oldest institutions of its kind in the world, has always balanced the duty of producing everyday coinage with the responsibility of creating works of art. In 1998, this balance was evident in every 2-pence coin struck, common or rare, circulation or proof. The fact that one of these coins would one day be worth tens of millions is a testament to the mint's enduring influence on history and culture. Over the years, the reputation of the 1998 Elizabeth II 2-pence grew steadily. At auctions, whispers circulated of astonishing hammer prices, with collectors bidding furiously for the rarest examples. What began as modest valuations quickly escalated into astronomical figures. Today, in the numismatic world, the coin is spoken of with reverence, often placed in the same conversations as legendary rarities like the 1933 penny or the 1937 Edward VIII sovereign. Its allure lies not only in its rarity but in the mystique that surrounds it. To own one is to hold a symbol of both wealth and history, a tangible link to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and to the artistry of British coinage. And now we arrive at the part that astonishes even seasoned collectors: the value. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 1998, in its rarest and most pristine form, has reached a valuation that seems almost unreal. With its historical significance, design beauty, scarcity, and demand, this small coin, once worth only a fraction of a pound, now commands a price tag of an incredible $32 million. Yes, 32 million. It is a number that transforms a humble copper coin into one of the most coveted treasures in the world of numismatics. This astonishing valuation serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of collecting. What once slipped unnoticed through the hands of millions now stands as a beacon of value, history, and national pride. It tells us that rarity can hide in plain sight, that beauty can be found in the smallest of objects, and that a coin minted in 1998 can carry within it not just metal and design but a story worth $32 million. For collectors, investors, and dreamers alike, the Elizabeth II 2 pence of 1998 remains one of the greatest discoveries of our time, a testament to the magic that lies in every coin, waiting to be uncovered. So the next time you hold a 2 pence coin, pause for a moment. Look closely at its design, its details, its story. Remember that while most may only ever be worth their face value, one, somewhere, may hold a fortune beyond imagination. And perhaps, just perhaps, you might one day find yourself holding not just a coin, but a masterpiece of history, valued at $32 million.